Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Crusade. This is season 1. This is episode number 5. This episode is called The Long Road. Last episode was really interesting because we discovered this planet and we knew it was a very advanced planet. Yet the whole occupancy, civilization was gone. And we couldn't understand why. Then you had Dorina, who had gone off on her own little expedition away from everybody else and discovered this data crystal. And on this data crystal, we learnt that there was a civilization that lived here, yet there was something in the darkness, there was a shadow that killed them. And we later learned that it was a nanovirus in their brains, which made those that were more affected turn on the less affected and killed them. And they basically wiped themselves out and we all got infected. And we saw how one of the IPX staff members had her throat slit, somebody else was strangled. And it wasn't until we got a little bit further on into the story that we learnt that, yes, the techno-mages feared this planet, and it was one of many planets that they stayed away from. And it was all because one techno-mage had orchestrated this entire thing and had left an AI of themselves on the planet's surface so that if anyone else ever came down here, the virus would just continue and everybody else would get infected. So it was interesting to watch it, especially because obviously Galen ended up in one hell of a bit of a dilemma and I don't think he knew really how to process it because at the end he just left. We also saw how Gideon was warned by the voice in the box that he has not to trust Galen, and I was like, oh, we still don't know what the purpose of this voice is. I have an idea of what it is, but I don't want to share it until it's kind of maybe confirmed, or if it's never confirmed, I'll kind of share it afterwards. But then we also saw how Gideon had to use his staff to destroy the machine that, in effect, kept this whole thing going. And it was really nice actually to see Dorina go and get that back when they thought he'd completely lost it and he would never receive it again. So it's going to be interesting to see what this one's about. The Long Road is an interesting title. So I'm going to get into this. Let's go.
It's here again.
It can't be.
I am telling you, man, it is out there. I just saw it with my own eyes.
Get on the link. Tell them it's back. Tell them to send troops, ships, anybody with a gun. We need help.
Anyone with a gun? So Excalibur's got to end up there, right? Dude? What?
We've just been contacted by an Earth Force ship in the area. Apparently, they're trying to bring in materials they say will help fight the plague back home.
Ah.
They're having trouble with the local population, and they'd like us to help out.
I'm always happy to lend a hand. What's the location?
Regular 4.
You've heard of it. It's a low-tech planet. Mostly farmers, no military to speak of.
Oh.
Starships. Could possibly be causing them trouble.
What?
Interesting reading?
I just got a report from the Medusa station on Regular 4. These guys must be either drunk or crazy or both.
I shouldn't be at all surprised.
Get this, they report seeing a dragon.
What?
A dragon. Big as a skyscraper.
Breathing fire and all that?
Supposedly, yes, but they haven't found any damage.
Because it's not really there, I don't
what
think.
color it was?
No way.
Red, green, black?
Gold.
A preliminary survey of the planet 3 years ago revealed that humans on Regular 4 had an average lifespan of 15 years beyond Earth normal.
Oh, that's
There
nice.
appears to be a mineral in the water supply that counteracts most viruses, sort of a natural antiviral agent.
Oh.
And we always intended to investigate it further, but when the Drakh plague hit Earth, our schedule was moved up.
So they think this mineral will
We
help?
arrived a couple of months ago and began mining to remove as much of the mineral as possible for shipment back to Earth. The tests back home were apparently very positive, so we were ordered to speed up the process.
You're strip mining the place.
We're being more aggressive, yes. There's too much at stake not to. And that's where the problem started.
This is a list.
I know
of the
this guy's
problems
voice.
we've experienced over the past 6 weeks.
This guy.
A 12-ton cargo transport disappeared entirely from our planetside base for 2 days. When it reappeared, we discovered that the engines had been removed and replaced with a substance resembling peanut butter.
What?
Don't let the pranks fool you. We are dealing with terrorists here. As to how they are doing what they do, it's completely beyond us. We've doubled security, we've put cameras all over the place, we just can't catch them in the act.
Has anyone been hurt?
No, not yet. It's only a matter of time before that happens.
We need first-hand information before we can make any recommendations.
We've got to go there,
So we
basically.
go down to the planet, see the situation for ourselves.
I agree. We can look after ourselves. And I have reason to believe that we won't be in any danger.
Would you like to share that reason with me?
No, not yet. Not until I'm sure.
I think
We'll
he
leave a change
knows
of
that
clothes
this.
for Matthew,
What if it's just like
village and some local currency.
something to scare the people away because there's something there that needs protecting? Like in Dragonfire in Doctor Who, you know? I think this guy's Talon.
Know something
It's
about
the
this,
voice.
don't you?
Perhaps. And if I'm right, it's definitely something you should see.
And if you're wrong?
Oh, well, that hardly seems likely, does it?
Well, Galen, we're here. What now?
Well, this is an inn. We are new in town.
That
I
was
suggest you buy us
terrible.
a drink.
That was absolutely
You're
terrible.
enjoying this, aren't you?
He's loving life.
Immensely.
Are they chestnuts?
Something always happens.
Like this?
See?
Something I can do for you?
Yeah.
Leave?
Get out of our village.
Yeah, we were just...
I said get the hell out. We don't want your kind around here.
No.
Leave them alone! They belong to me!
You know these two, Alwyn?
I employ many different people to bring me information from the border. These two came to see me.
Hello, Alwyn. It's good to see you again.
And you, Galen. How did you find me?
The dragon?
Gold dragon? You used to pull up my out for children at parties. You might as well have put up a sign with your name on it.
Yes, well, it's a classic.
I take it from that little display at the end that you're a techno-mage, same as Galen?
I was once a member of that order, yes.
Oh.
Since you are here, am I to assume that the others have decided at last to come out of hiding?
No, not yet. I came back a little early.
Booted you out, did they?
Something like that.
Good lad. Hope for you yet.
You said you were a techno-mage. You left?
No, they did.
Oh.
Just as the Shadow War was gearing up, they decided it would be a jolly good idea if we all left and went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Rode out the war in some safe place where we couldn't be found. Rank cowardice, if you ask me.
Wow.
I take it that you're responsible for some of the problems that our ships have been having lately.
I keep busy.
Why? You say you have an obligation to help people? The resources on this planet can be a huge help back home, maybe even slow down the plague and save lives. So why this campaign of terror?
Yeah.
Terror? Do you want to see what a campaign of terror really looks like? Do you?
Probably not great.
Come with me. The mineral they're after is a natural antiviral agent that has been filtered through groundwater over the centuries.
Yeah.
The only places you can find it are in the most fertile of our lands, with a nearby supply of clean water.
Oh, he says our lands.
All of which is being destroyed by this little operation of yours. We tried to convince them to mine elsewhere, away from the village, but they would not listen.
They call you a terrorist.
Do they really? And I am flattered. The truth is that I'm more of an annoyance than a terrorist. One day this will turn to violence, and when that happens,
He's got a point
your
there.
kind
It probably
come
will.
here with ships.
And there is nothing here that can stop them.
Oh.
Wrong.
He's here.
I will be here. I will be waiting for them.
Try it, you're dead. Come on, get in here. Come on. Quickly.
Oh.
We don't want to kill you, but we will if we have to. Do you understand?
Oh.
Move them out.
I don't think this was part of the plan, you know.
Let's go.
How is Elric? He must not have been happy about you coming back.
Wait.
He passed beyond just after we reached the hiding place.
He was the
I'm
guy
sorry.
on the
I
station,
didn't know
right?
that.
Elric.
We disagreed about,
Everything.
well, about almost everything, really.
Oh, he totally was.
But he was a good man. He taught you well.
I spent most of my life being afraid of him.
Galen, there's been a problem.
Hostages.
A dozen or so workers at the mining operation have been taken hostage. They're saying unless the ships leave and the mining stops, the hostages will be killed. Lieutenant!
There's your dragon.
Lieutenant!
It's a hologram. Keep on going.
Imagine if the fire did affect the shuttle.
Howard.
Leave them alone. Get out of the way, old man. Don't mess with things you don't understand.
That's funny.
We were about to tell you the same thing.
You honestly wouldn't know what to do, would you?
Holograms. They can't hurt you.
Oh!
They don't last for more than an hour, but then generally speaking, you don't need them for more than that.
Because everybody
No, that's
dies.
usually sufficient. The teeth are a very nice touch.
Do you think so? Not too big.
No, I think they're just about right.
So, Lieutenant, do you have the hostages?
No, sir. Actually, we've been captured also.
Alwyn, talk to your people. Get them to calm down before the situation unravels any further.
They're going to have to, because people are going to start dying.
I will.
One thing, if we're planning to appeal to the better angels of their nature, we better have a backup plan.
In a matter of weeks, you could end up killing everyone within 20 miles of the mining operation.
Devin, this is no time for hysterics. We have a perfectly fine operation going here. We're not about to change it now.
It's like the IPX
I
guy.
assure you,
It's
this will
always
be
about
gone
money
into
and
proper
time.
once the current crisis has been resolved.
Sir, I have Galen on the line.
I'll get back to you, Captain. Put him through. Galen, what's the situation?
Not good, Matthew. There's been a most disturbing development.
Stop him. Get in, you don't have
He's
the
just
resources
like-
to knock down a planetary target.
His
in time to
movement
stop
of that
him, but you
cape
do.
is terrifying.
Damn it, Gideon. Do you want the blood of every man and woman who dies aboard this ship on your hands?
Ready, main guns to fire.
Main guns locked on, ready
We
to
know
fire.
he had a problem before. Something happened, right?
Fire.
Is it me, or are the mornings getting colder?
You cut that one awfully close.
Oh, it wasn't as bad as it looked. You should know by now that when we were involved, nothing is as it seems.
So, what will you do now?
Going to
Move
hiding,
on,
I guess.
I suppose.
You can't stay here.
I have overstayed my welcome here. The long road beckons. It's time I got back on it. See where it leads me this time.
It's been nice to have someone from home to talk to.
You can't fool me, Galen. You are home. Just don't realize it yet.
This was not what I envisioned at all, but I really enjoyed it. Learning that there was this planet where there was a mineral in the water which could prolong life and help with illness that we could use to stem the plague, I guess, a little bit back home. And so obviously we get sent down to this Earth Alliance ship, which made me giggle, especially after seeing the dragon earlier and then seeing the ship was called the Medusa. I was like, oh, what are the chances of that, you know? And then us having to basically go down to the planet's surface to see if, you know, the mining was a good idea, or if there was anything that we could do to get this mineral back to Earth as quickly as we could. And I'm absolutely certain that the guy who was the captain of the Medusa, his voice sounded very much like Talon. So that's quite cool if that's who that was. There was like, when he would finish a sentence, I was like, that just sounds like a Nan. So going down there and then discovering that there is another techno mage down there, and for it to be Edward Woodward was just amazing because that guy was amazing. And him basically being like, I've lived here with among these people for 12 years, and he's the one that had been conjuring up the dragon to help these people because, you know, we saw how the daughter got sick because she was getting exposed to too much of the mineral, and it was like he said, basically like an overdose to her because her body was becoming too saturated with it. So we had to try and convince the captain of the Medusa to move the mining operation to help save these people. And seeing how Alwyn was, you know, conjuring up all of these little tricks and things to try and help these people, I thought was really nice. I think Edward Woodward's performance in this was my favourite thing about the entire episode. And that speech he did toward the end with Galen, where he was talking about, you know, moving on. And it was very reminiscent of when Lorien came to take the Shadows and the Vorlons beyond the Rim. And it does make me think to myself, like, Lorien obviously was a first one, but how far down from the first ones are the techno mages? Because a lot of what they were talking about was very reminiscent of things that Lorien would talk about in regard to moving on and, you know, leaving the universe, the galaxy as it were, to the younger races. So that was really interesting to like listen to that conversation that he was having. And when he was saying about moving on and taking the long road before the darkness comes, really made me think of when, you know, the Minbari talk about, I think it was like going beyond the sea with I think it was when we first met Dral and he was going down to Epsilon 3. And that was so cool. Like, I loved that. I just thought this was really interesting to get a little bit more insight into the techno mages, because obviously last episode we were told not to trust Galen. But I think watching this, I don't know, I really like Galen. He really makes me laugh, and there's just something about him that is quite mysterious. But I don't think there's something there to worry about. So I'm more concerned about the voice in the box and believing what the voice in the box is. But then obviously we've got Galen himself, where he's talking about having a home, and he was talking about how his teacher like was preparing him for things. Mentioning Elric was something that I totally did not expect, because he's the guy who we met on the station, right? When we first learned about techno mages and they went away so that they couldn't be discovered by the shadows. To refer back to that, joy, utter joy. Loved it. But it was quite sad to hear that he died not long after they went into hiding. I actually really liked a lot of the callbacks in this, actually. This was just really unexpected. And I wonder, I'm assuming at some point actually that Galen probably does go back here in the future and does help the people further down the line that are still here. And yeah, I might just actually go watch the next one. So I will see you guys later. Thank you.